Hey, Brenda.
Good morning.
I'm an Usher fan. New album.
Good morning.
Morning. We'll get started about 5 after, everybody. Thanks for swinging by. I think it's my favorite song off the new Usher album. The rest of it, I'm not a huge fan of. I think there's a new Taylor Swift album. Is that right? My daughter keeps asking about it, but I don't think I could find it.
Isn't that always the way, though? You get an album and there's one song you like on it, and the rest, it's like, oh, not so much. That happens to me.
Totally. Yeah. And you get all excited. I'm like, yes. Justin Timberlake, I'm excited about too. I like R&B singer guys. I grew up in the hood with R&B and B and rap, and that's my hip hop. And R&B is my thing of choice. And I like to sing alone, but I do like to. I'm half decent singer, I think. But yeah, I'm excited about. I don't know if Justin's whole album's out yet or not, but yeah. But I always get very excited, and then usually, yeah, like most albums, 90% of it's not the greatest.
Yep, I totally understand.
I think the other room was still going, so slow coming over here. Invite a couple people up, and I'll get started and reset in a minute. 30 seconds ish. Hey, Kim. Cindy. Oh, I thought you left, Cindy. Now I see the Justin thing. He was just on SNL too. But he wasn't hosting. So I wish he would have hosted. He usually hosts and does the music thing. But yeah. Eh, all right. We're gonna change
I'm on my
my.
way to an appointment. I might have to jump off, but I'm going to listen as long as I can. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, yeah. We get started as soon as I can change my profile picture. Everybody hear me good? I'm good audio wise.
Yeah,
Yep.
the audio is good. Good morning,
Sweet.
Derek. Good morning, everyone.
All right. So if I can find my notes, you're in the good Google for real estate house. You can click the house up top to join if you have a red ticket. I don't see any red tickets in here right now, but if you have one, click above to join. This is our recurring 60-minute Wednesday 9 a.m. room, so you can find us here every Wednesday at 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always forget, I got to put that in here now that we're talking to people from all over the world. So 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm Derek Bixler, single dad of 3, commercial and residential real estate agent of 17 years, outdoor adventure sportsman, and Google marketing geek, which is why we're all here, obviously. In this room, we talk about how to dominate Google local search and get business from our Google business profiles and Google ads. But we also talk about and share best practices, ideas, and strategies with the vast array of Google marketing and productivity tools, sheets, forms, databases, notes, scheduling, email, workspace, local guiding, of course. Can't forget that one, browser plugins, all kinds of stuff. So also like to talk about that kind of stuff. And today is actually one of those days. Replays are on and recordings will be available for a to be determined amount of time. And then at some point I'll be removing them or housing them in my community, which will be available soon. If you need to contact me or watch any of the videos that I mentioned, there's like a video bank on my website. Sometimes I mention those videos if you need to reference those, or you need help with your Google stuff, or need to schedule a discovery call or whatever. All things me and Google Business Profile stuff. You can click that link, which is not at the top, which I need to add. Searchbomb.com is my company, and that's what that website is. As soon as I put it in there, is it up there? Sweet. Yeah, and make sure you add and follow me. I will add and friend you back, whatever it is right now. Add back, whatever. And anybody else that you resonate with or know. If a lot of us here know each other already, but if you aren't friends with each other, at each other and be each other's friends. Today, we're going to talk about, well, I'll start out with just to ask me anything if anybody has any burning issues or questions or anything about Google Business Profile or local services ads or digital marketing in general, but mainly those two things. And then after that, we'll go into, like I said, we're going to talk about other Google apps and tools other than the Google Business Profile or pretty much outside of marketing. So things like I've got a whole list of a bunch of stuff, and then other people can share how they use these things, or if there's things that I'm missing that people can use. And a lot of it is free stuff. So that's the good thing about majority of it. It can be used free, or at least a portion of it can be used free. Some of the stuff you got to pay for workspace to use it fully, but we'll talk about some other Google apps and tools and things. So I will start by saying hello to everybody. And does anybody have any issues or burning questions or anything regarding Google Business Profile or local services ads or other Google marketing stuff? And if there's I think most everybody is a real estate agent in here, but if anybody or anybody listening to the replay later is a different profession, I do specialize in real estate agents and agencies. However, I do help other small businesses, also local type businesses. So, or it can at least answer questions, and a lot of the same stuff still applies. So feel free to ask a question in a room or later ask me a question as well. So open it up. I'll shut up, and anybody with a Google Business Profile or Google Ads question.
Hey Derek, it's Jennifer Goodman in Austin, Texas. Are we doing that intro thing in your rooms, or are we just talking since I'm new to the group?
Yeah, that's probably yeah. Introduce yourself, say where you're from, kind of thing. That's perfect. Thanks for adding that for me.
No, for sure. I like to play, but I like to know the rules so I know where I can break them. So as a client of Derek's, for those of you who are just in listening mode, I would like to say that his services are impeccable. His attention to detail, his ability to understand the platform and the nuances that change from Thursday at noon till Thursday at 12:01 p.m. Just are mind-boggling. He's a real master of his craft. And so if you aren't working with him yet, and you have the opportunity to do so, Google, YouTube, Pinterest, these spaces, if you will, are where people are searching people that are deeper in the funnel than can I get 1,000 Facebook leads, etc. So I just want to say, if you do have an opportunity or you are considering where you're putting your money in 2024, working with Derek first and foremost is a really interesting place to consider for bumping it up to the top. My question, Derek, is, are any of the companies that call me on a daily basis that say something about work from Google, are any of them real? Meaning, do I need to call any of them back because they all seem like BS?
Um, Both. It's spam for sure. Usually the hook or the line that they use that like you're not verified or you're not going to show up on voice search. Those are the two big things. You're not on voice search. You need to be on voice search, and you're not verified or you're not out there. Your profile isn't showing to the public or whatever line they use. So all of it is that's usually false. That can easily be solved by just go to your Google Business Profile dashboard, and it will tell you right there. If you're not verified, you'll have to click get verified, and there should be a blue check kind of next to you. I think it's blue. Yeah, it's still blue. Um, Next to your name or whatever. So easily check it yourself if you would be paranoid about it. But yeah, in general, you can just completely ignore that. The texts, the calls, the emails, all of it, unless it's an official thing from Google. And even then, if you get a email that says like your Google Business Profile is suspended or unverified or you need to re-verify or anything, I still, before I click through, even if I know it's from Google, I usually go to my Google Business Profile and check it. Plus, I want to check it anyway before I click through and go through some help channel. I want to know what they're talking about or whatever. But yeah, ignore that gobbledygook. And as far as the voice search goes, just by being on Google, like if you ask Google, I use Google, what are they called? The Google Assistant, the little speaker things, smart speakers in my house. If you ask it something, it's giving you the same results as a regular search. It's just giving it to you audibly. So it's using the same stuff to base search results on. So all that voice crap, and also when's the last time you asked Alexa to who's the best realtor? So yeah, you can ignore all that BS.
Awesome. Is it worth asking Alexa who the best realtor is? Like, is there something we could do to get ourselves bumped up in that space?
Last time I haven't talked to Alexa specifically for a while. There are ways to be on there in a multiple ways, but I don't, not really. I don't think last time I asked it, it did not give me any kind of answer or anything remotely like I would want. Neither does Google. It kind of says, I forget what it says. It says here are some web results, or kind of like what Siri says when you ask Siri and it doesn't really know what to tell you. Um, so I should get each kind of smart speaker and start asking them things to figure it out. Most people, if they're asking with their voice, they're doing it on their phone, which again is going to populate the same results as if you typed it in. It's just going to be a longer tail version of it, if that makes sense. I don't know if I answered that or not. Kind of did,
Thanks.
kind of didn't. Any other questions or anything about Google Business Profile or related?
Hi, Derek. It's Kim Dunnigan from Charlotte, North Carolina, and Jennifer Goodman has been singing your praises to me for about a year. And in October, I sent out a bulk email. Now, I probably did it wrong. I did it through my business Gmail account and it crashed. And it also took out my Google, my business page. So I'm trying to restore it now under my own personal Gmail account instead of the business one. And it is taking some time. So I think I may have to reach out to you and get some of your professional advice.
Gotcha.
I
So you created a Google Business Profile with an email address that later
was
got
my
shut
company.
down.
And the other thing was, it showed my website, and I don't know how this happened, as HomeSnap. And I don't even know, I'm not registered with HomeSnap anymore because their prices went like crazy. So I've I've asked for verification under my new email address and without HomeSnap.
Yeah, so this is a good question for a few reasons. One is warning to everybody, do not use HomeSnap or any other service to create your profile or to manage it, or it's all BS. Definitely don't. A lot of people are in your boat where they kind of click some button on HomeSnap or whatever and said, yes, I want it. And then it creates it a lot of times under that work email or whatever is associated with HomeSnap. And then they're the owner of it and it's hard to get it back. Actually, it's not that hard to get back. But so so you're saying you don't have access to that. Is that email still exist? Can somebody
Oh yeah, my
access that
business
email
email
still?
still exists, but because I'm kind of up in the air about what my future is, I've decided just to put it under my regular Gmail account.
So you don't want to create a second one because you can't have duplicate profiles. It'll be a nightmare that you'll have to shut one down. You won't be able to verify because it's a duplicate, blah, blah, blah. And hopefully you didn't do that already. If you did, stop where you are right now and don't go any further and contact me. But so if you still have access to that other email, you log into the dashboard and make yourself owner of it. You can add another owner. So the
Right.
old work email you don't use anymore, go in as that, add your regular Gmail as an owner, and then you can remove that other one. And if you have problems removing it, you can go through the help channels to get it fully transferred over. But yeah, and everybody should have redundancies on their Google Business profiles also. That's another good thing you brought up. If you are the owner, you should have a close family member or another email address of yours that's not going to go away as a second owner or at least a second manager, so that if you get hacked or you lose something or whatever, there's redundancies there. And that should apply for Google Ads accounts. Facebook now, you can have like a deaf person. I think my mom's my deaf person and I'm my mom's deaf person. Um, I don't think they call it a deaf person, but yeah, you know what I mean. So did that answer it?
All right. Thank you, Derek.
Yep, yep.
And Kim brings up a really good point, not related to Google, but related to not related to Google Business Profile, but related to business, which is owning your Gmail as to what it is. How many people are like so and so at Compass or at, insert brokerage here. The reality is someday in the future, that company may not align with you. And the moment you do that, you've got all of these people who have forever had your address at call me, text me at, email me at so-and-so brokerage that is no longer applicable because they cut you off when you go. So just as a matter of practice, you may want to consider, if you are using a company email, that you BCC yourself on your Gmail or you flip it over, but no one's going to think you're any more or less professional by having your name at first and last name, or your name at whatever your URL is, to avoid some of what Kim is going through.
Yeah, can I ask a question about that? Because that's very interesting. I do have a Gmail account. However, I also own the company. So I have my website address, which I know that you can, through Google, use like your company name instead of gmail.com. So, but then I also heard that that might not be a good idea to do that, or Google wouldn't be able to track, how many people are coming to you and things like that. Is I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but I just want to know if that's true.
I have my company domain. Kim, this is Donna from Dallas. I have my company name domain pointing to Google. I was totally green in the process, but I did it. But um, I've not had any glitches or felt like it was falling short of providing me the data or information. It's literally just my website domain, my domain, I'm sorry, my domain pointing there, and it's business as usual. I still have the Google Work, the whole Google Workspace or whatever it's called. So I don't know if that
Right.
answered your question.
Yeah, yeah, I think it does. Thank you. I appreciate that because that's what I was thinking of doing. Um, you know, so that it does, look like it's coming directly from the company and not necessarily just a Gmail. But I just didn't want to mess anything up, so I thought I'd ask. I appreciate it. Thank you.
The pricing, I have the pricing sheet up here for Workspace. I am on the Google Workspace Business Plus plan, which just went up to $21.60 per user per month. They have a business starter plan for $6 a month, which gives you access to like Word, Sheets, like all the suite of everything that Google has, like Office type stuff. Usually when you get a workspace, it gives you some advanced features that you might not have on the free versions. But there's a starter pack. I'm like 3 tiers up. Then there's also a $12 pack, Google Workspace Business Standard for $12. But I think I just switched to using Google Meet, and I think I had to do the Business Plus for the meeting capabilities that I wanted to do or whatever. But I used to pay like $12, I think. So yeah, it ranges from $6 up to $30 per user if you were on the Enterprise Plus or whatever. But I think the one I'm on would get most of everything. Does anybody here? How about go ahead, Diane? You got something?
Oh, hey, Derek. Good morning, everyone. Oh, I just had to leave the conversation to meet my tree guy at a listing, and now I'm headed to another one in 10 minutes. So I'm going to miss a lot of the conversation. But I did hear Jennifer singing your praises, and I know, I used you as well for some Google work. But I did not know you worked on YouTube. And I have a very old YouTube channel that I haven't done a lot with, but before I head off to Tom Ferry next week, my goal is to make sure my admins are in place and get my YouTube channel to a place where I can just start working on it, if you will. So I guess my question to you is, do you work on YouTube, and is that something I could hire you for potentially to just kind of give a quick analysis so I can start off on the right foot?
I would not profess to be the YouTube guru at all. Obviously, there are others that are that. Having said that, I am very good mechanically and fairly good design-wise. And it's not really rocket science for like the initial setup. If you're talking about strategy and all that, I don't get into any of that stuff.
Yeah,
But if you're
I
talking
don't
about
need
the banner
strategy at this
image
point.
and
Yeah.
yeah, banner image, setting up the descriptions and all the mechanical type stuff. Yeah, I can help with that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
I'll be listening in as much as I can. Thank you.
Safe travels. Any other? Oh, I was gonna say, show of thumbs or whatever emoji, your emoji of choice up here on stage and down below. Give me your emoji of choice if you pay for Google email, like a workspace account. Don't be shy. I guess I should start it. Be a good example. I'm gonna do eyeballs for mine.
Oh, Derek, I actually do have a question. I learned yesterday from someone in Clubhouse. Actually, I think it was Rue. Taught me how
Oh my God, did she just disappear?
my an admin to my YouTube channel.
Go back, go
So
back. We didn't hear you. Go back.
I said, Rue, I watched a YouTube video to learn how to add admins to my YouTube channel so that they could upload videos and do whatever's needed. So I did that. But when I invited the person to do that, I saw what they received, and it said, you need a YouTube channel to be an admin on a channel. Have you ever seen that?
Did you create the channel with is it a branded account, quote unquote? Do you know?
See, this is why I need you. No freak. What do you mean by a branded email?
Like it's not just Derek Bixler Gmail, it would be
No,
Derek at Search Bomb.
it's marketing at theneedlegroup.com.
So it is a branded account, I think is what that means. Maybe, yeah, I have a guess of what it is because sometimes if you use a branded account to create stuff, you have to like go deeper in settings and some things, like definitely Google Ads and allow different domains. So like if you were adding somebody with a Gmail or an AOL or a Yahoo, you have to go in there and say people with those email extensions are also allowed to be admins. Before you invite them, you have to allow new domains and then add those people. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but that would be my guess, but really not no idea without actually seeing it and troubleshooting.
Okay, thanks.
I would think, unless you're, yeah, I would think on YouTube you could add anybody without having to add extra domains in there. But any other oh, all right. Let me see an emoji, your favorite emoji, if you use your broker provided email, whatever that is, doesn't matter. Favorite emoji if you use your broker provided email.
It's Kim. I don't know how to do emojis.
I know we gotta have a tutorial on that.
Put
Are
a
Hold
you
your
sure
thumb,
you want
face.
to talk to me, Derek?
put a thumb or any finger on your face, Kim, in the thing and hold it there, and literally all your choices of emojis will come up. So just press your screen.
Add an
Thank
emoji
you,
if you
Kim.
adore Kim.
Oh, I love
Because
you guys.
because I have so much trouble with things that everybody knows. So thank you, Kim.
Okay, Derek, I have one other question. I went into my Google page and apparently I have been re-verified, but I didn't get anything to, they usually send you something in the mail. So they've updated my address. I've just added my phone number, but all my reviews are gone. All 5 of them. So
Sounds
I'm
like you
gonna,
started a second one then, possibly.
okay, all right. But the pictures are there that I put up on the original one.
Um, I'd have to look further then. If
Okay,
that's the case.
I, I will definitely reach out to you. Thank you.
Hey, can I hop in? Hey, good morning, everyone. Derek, hi. Thanks for being here. It's Cindy Arion over in Salt Lake City. And on the topic of Google Workspace, I have had such a challenge. Um, I tried about a month ago, I started to try to set up a Google Workspace. And I couldn't do it. I kept getting like these, I don't know, I couldn't get in. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll try it again now. So I just am going through the steps as we are speaking here. And I went in, put my name, put my Cindy Ariona at Gmail, that my email that I'm using. And then I got to the step of put in your domain. Do you have a domain or are you going to need one? I put, I have one. They ask what it is, the next step, and it's myname.com, cindyariona.com. And when I put that in, once again, it stops me and says with the red that your domain name is in use. So if you want to use Google Workspace, follow these steps. And I go through and I'm back into the same thing where I can't sign up my domain for a Google service. Now, having said that, I obviously need your help on the back end because my cindyariona.com I bought through Google, and yet I have directed, I have it forwarded into the subdomain that my brokerage gives me. Um, what do you do when I'm just so freaking frustrated besides hire you for the next steps of clearing this up? But I don't know if anybody else, I guess my point is anybody else, I mean, I just this Google Workspace, is it a challenge just for me or I don't know.
No,
I'm
Cindy,
Cindy,
you're not alone.
Cindy, I think I it's interesting because I have my domain pointed to Katie Core for all the websites, and then I have my domain pointed to Gmail. And I will say that was probably the most technically challenged process that I did when I first opened my brokerage. And when I finished it successfully, I literally was like having a celebration, like it was the biggest thing ever. Derek probably could figure it out. I'm wondering if it's because you're forwarding it to your brokerage. I would have to look at it, but I'm sure Derek would be way more successful. But I would just say don't give up, because it once I got on the right track, I was successful. But just the terminology, I felt like something was going to blow up, and my domain was going to be messed up forever. So I would just stay the course. But I do have another question, Derek, after this question has been resolved.
Yeah, well, it's not uncommon, Cindy, that you get into some kind of Google loop, goose chase that is click this link to do this, click this link, and then you end up back click this link to resolve your problem, and it sends you back to the original article that you started at or whatever. So you are not alone, and you could go in tomorrow and it might be different. I've done that a million times. They're like, this isn't working, and then I write something in the community and somebody writes do this, and then I'm like, that's what I did, but I do it again and somehow miraculously it works or something. So it might just be a glitch, or it might be something else that's actually an issue. um,
Okay.
so you're really just trying to create a workspace email address, right? That's what you're trying to do.
Yes, because I've used Trello, and my understanding is that I wanted to do it to have more of a collaborative space for my team, meaning more my back end team. Um, my website guy got a new website person, and I'm trying to really put myself over here as independent and not using like just one more step of being more independent and not tied to where my license is hung. But I do believe I will take this up with you offline. But where we were talking about Google Workspace, I just got my hair standing up here. I got, oh, okay, I was feeling all, we could do this, and tried it again. And here I am back at that same stump. So I'll reach out to you, Derek, and we can carry on to other conversations. Thank you, Donna.
You know where to find me.
Okay. Um, Derek, so my question is, I feel like you've said this a gazillion times, but now that it has applied to me, I am wanting to verify that my thought is correct. So if you give someone a Google review and it doesn't show up on their page, I even went back and added a photo and it's still not showing up on her page. Can I do another Google review from me?
You can do a review per email address. So if you have another Gmail address or you want to create one, if you create one from scratch and use that, it probably that reeks of spam or fake bot or whatever, probably get blocked every time. But if you have another Gmail address, you could give another review that way. Adding photos to a review that already didn't show up does not work a lot of the times. You got like a 50-50 shot maybe at that. So it's a good thing to try possibly, but I pretty much
Yeah.
assume it's not going to work. And if it does, then yippee. But yeah, it's better. You're better off using review giving best practices from the jump
Okay.
so that it shows up the first time.
Okay. Well, I don't have another Gmail, but I mean, so I'm if I remember you right, you're like, don't get hung up on that. Just get another review, right? I can see it on
Yeah,
Maps
just keep asking.
because I can log into Maps and Google the name, and it's there. It's actually the first one as of a couple days ago. So it's showing up on Maps,
Oh, so it
but
is
not.
there. This is one you gave or got.
I gave someone a review. She's going
Gotcha.
into her profile and it's not there. But when
Yeah, the giver will still see it,
okay,
even if it's not populating to the getter. So, and if you can get a screen, or you can send her a screenshot of it,
I
she could go
had
through the
had
help chat, blah, 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 and petition to Google and all that crap. But to her, I mean, it's more, yeah, it's more beneficial just to
Get another one.
keep asking
Yeah.
and just move on usually because the time spent, it's a lot easier to text a link to somebody than to go through all that gobbledygook
Yeah.
or try to contact Google or deal with them, and then it might not still not work.
Still, yeah. I
Um,
remember you
but
talking
if
about
you,
that.
yeah, next time you give one, because it takes time to give a review, especially if you're actually writing it or if you're adding photos and you want them to see it because you want those brownie
Of
points for
course.
that business owner to like you and all that. So just make sure you, every time, just everybody get into the practice of if you're going to give a review, go to the Google Maps, go on the Google Maps app, not Apple Maps, blah, blah, blah. Go on the actual Google Maps app on your phone, go to the Google business profile of the business, click directions, click call, click photos. A lot of you have heard me go through this spiel before, but interact with the Google business profile a bunch so that Google knows and kind of registers, ding, check mark, this person has interacted and knows this business. And then go back a couple days later, and sometimes even like a day later or something, but I usually wait a couple days and then you could go back again via the Google Maps app because that's where reviews technically live in the servers or whatever is on the Google in Google Maps, not with the Google Business Profile. So go back to the Google Maps app, leave the review, and then it should stick. And sometimes you'll even see your Google Maps app ask you proactively, "Hey, you were at that business or you interacted with that business. Do you want to give them a review?" Um, and Donna, if you wanted to, you can just go add photos to the business too. So your
That's
review might not be showing up, but you can just go and just add photos outside of the review.
so I did it. I did everything that you said. I went through Google Maps and left a review. I didn't leave a photo because I was in a bunch of other things and I didn't have time to keep looking for photos. So I just was like, I'm just going to give her 5 stars, and I put in even in there 5 stars, right? And then like a week later, she was asking again, which obviously I want the review to show. So then I'm like, I've already done that. Here's a snapshot. And I thought, okay, well, he said something one time about adding a photo. So I added a photo and I took a snapshot. It posted. I took a snapshot and where it shows that's there. It's not showing up on her side. And so I don't know what else to do. And so, are you saying, let me ask you this. So, I put it through Google Maps, like what we're talking about. And I don't want to spend a whole lot more time on this because obviously you can just go and get more reviews. But my question would be, since I did do that, both a review and a photo, should I try going into the her actual Google business profile and do something there? I mean, I don't know. You know, we all have a lot to do, but I don't want to, you
Yeah, I
know.
wouldn't add the same photo with all the same metadata that you added to the review, but so I would just forget about the review. That's not going to show up. It's
Okay,
is what it is. But
Hey,
okay,
Don, is this one of
for
your
photo, like if you
agents?
want to help her, just go add photos. You open the Google Maps app, go to their Google Business profile, click on the photos, and then there will be a button that says Add Photo. And you can add photos or videos. So if you went to the Climbnasium on Google Business profile, I post stuff on there. It's like every time I'm there, their whole photo section is full of me and my kids. Um, and people know me from that actually. If you want to take over a place, like if there's a place you go every day or something, you could dominate their Google Business profile with your content kind of. But yeah, you could just add it as a photo, and usually that will show up. It's rare, as I say that, I should knock on wood, rare that just a photo added gets blocked, unless it's something like too much skin or
but
something
what
that gets
value
blocked.
does that add if a photo of her and I sitting at a table is added to her photo without a review?
Any consumer generated content is good. So reviews
Okay,
are generally the consumer generated content, the proof from the public, not the business, that the business is awesome. So reviews are the big way, but then photos would be pretty much the only other way that somebody could contribute to your business.
Good. Good morning. It's Kathy from Dallas. Question on the what about an edit? What happens if you do a review and there's an edit button? Would that do anything?
You can suggest edits to another business. Yeah, like for instance, if the suite door, if it's like taking you, the pin on the actual map is taking you to the end of the strip mall, but the suite is actually on the other end of the strip mall, you could suggest an edit and actually move the pin to the exact spot. You could suggest edits to phone numbers, to addresses, to pretty much anything on the Google Business Profile. And on the businesses side of it, like if you went into your dashboard, it would usually say this change has been suggested by the public. And if you're not going into your Google Business Profile often enough, a lot of times it'll just take effect and your thing has been changed. And that is something that people do to competitors. Um, sometimes sometimes
Well,
they'll just screw with people badly, falsely, but sometimes it is like you'll seek out people that are gaming the system and you change their stuff to the way it is for you to then get ahead. Home
yeah,
services, HVAC, elevate or garage doors, that kind of stuff. It's really rampant in, but yeah.
yeah. I guess I was talking more in Donna's case. If she said she can see it in her maps, is there if she goes in and does a quick edit, would that maybe make it pop up?
Um, you could. It's maybe worth a try, but probably once it's blocked, it's tough unless you go through the help channels. Donna, you did write something, right? You did write
I
words
wrote
also.
something. Yeah, I wrote something. I added stars to it. I it wasn't shown, so that I went in and added a photo, and I actually went and did one tiny change in the review because I think I was driving at the time and I just wanted to, make it happen. But I did edit. I've done it all. I've edited, I've posted, I've edited, and I've posted a photo. Now I'm going to go in to the Google review and see if I can figure out actually the Google business profile and actually figure out if I can add a photo. But I don't want to take all your time up on this. I know that there's things that you want to cover, but I did want to ask
Nope.
because I just need to conquer
Where did I
this
put it?
situation.
I have, this is Iris. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good morning, Derek.
morning.
Good morning, Dot. Just one, I I requested from a couple recently reviews from each one, and I gave them specific instructions. Find me on Google Maps, look through some of my photos, log out, and then come back, look for my name, go to my page, and give me a review. And both of them came through. And I remember hearing those specific instructions from Derek at some point. So I told him, find me through Google Maps because I remember him. I think Derek, you mentioned Google likes it when
Okay,
the
call me
person
when
has
you're
had
out, babe.
interaction with you before.
I'm ready.
So I told him, look for me on Google Maps, look at a couple of pictures,
When?
and log out. Go back later. Doesn't have to be right away. Later, because then that shows that
When are
you've
you
had a
done?
connection, and then write a review. And I can tell you within both of them really
Okay.
quickly,
So you're
I
gonna
got the
ride with
reviews right through.
me before until I go to the
Natalka, you have a
gym?
hot mic.
Oh, sorry.
So I don't know if that helps because I just remember Derek saying they want to know that it's not just a bot or someone, it's someone that you've had interaction with. So I told them, look for me on Google Maps, look through some of my pictures, and then later, log out, go back later or whenever, just go back in later and write the review. And it worked perfectly on both. So I don't
Yeah.
know if
And
that's just going forward. I don't know if that's going to change now, but
yeah,
it's
in this case, I actually helped set up the account, so I was in it a lot. You know. So anyway, let's move on. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And yes, Iris, that is exactly best practices. Use the actual Google Maps app, interact with the business profile first, and then go back like a day later and leave something that it works like a charm. I'm seeing and you heard it here first. I said it first. There are I'm getting emails now of like the best way to get your review, and I don't think they saw my video and copied it, but yeah, I'm starting to be the first to call things out sometimes. But anyway, all right. Let me reset because we are about quarter of the hour, and I can stay a little bit longer too. Not that all of you have to, but since it's going fast and a lot's getting accomplished and solved and talked about here, we can stay a little bit longer if everybody wants to. You're in the Google for Real Estate House. Click the house above to join. If you got a blue or a pink ticket, click it so you don't have that anymore. This is our recurring 60-minute Wednesday, 9 a.m. room, so you can find us here every Wednesday, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm Derek Bixler, single dad of 3, commercial and residential real estate agent of 17 years, outdoor adventure sportsman, and Google marketing geek. In this room, we talk about how to dominate Google local search and get business from our Google business profiles and Google ads, but we also talk about the vast array of other Google tools, email, workspace, like we've been talking about a lot today, sheets, forms, local guiding, obviously, we've been talking talking about a little bit, AI, maps, browser plugins, the list goes on and on. I think last time I went into the Google Play Store and looked for Google apps, there was like 50 some, maybe more than that, but there's a million. And then those are just the ones they actually have apps for. There's all kinds of other tools they have too. So replays are on and recordings are available for some to be determined time period. Afterwards, they will be housed in my community, which is coming soon. If you need to contact me, you can click the link above. Searchbomb is my marketing agency, and you can find me there. You can find my video bank. If I mention a video, you can find them there, or on my social media. Or if you need me for help with any of your Google stuff, hit me up there. And add me, follow me, friend me, whatever we do here and on all the other social medias. Follow me and all that stuff. And anybody else here on stage that you like and don't know yet, connect with others on the stage. Today we're doing a little bit of Ask Me Anything. So if you have questions about Google Business Profile or Google Ads, and then also we're talking about things other than, like in the title above, things other than Google Business Profile or Google Ads or marketing stuff, but just like productivity tools and other tools within the Google spectrum of stuff. So we talked about Workspace a lot. So that checks off that one on my list here. I'll open it up to anybody else. Is there, because I've got a whole list here I can go through, but is there any Google tool that anybody here uses a lot and loves and think is the bomb and they couldn't live without? Or just that you like? Maybe you could live without it, but you like it a lot?
I want to love Google more, Derek, given that I do pay for some of those things that we talked about. And I'm trying, I need to, and maybe this is something again for hire, that I want to set up some things tied to Calendly, which means it will have a Google form in it, and then how that gets tagged and all the good things so that it can create a whole spreadsheet. If that is something that is a space that you work with, that is probably a visual teaching or that kind of thing, I would think that I might not be alone on that, of just how to get more efficient inside of Google, because I feel like I'm not doing things because I don't know how, and I need those, like just sign up for my newsletter. I'm making it up, but what if people sign up for my newsletter that's just for the luxury newsletter? Like, how do I, utilize these things that are part of the Google suite and then operate in a way that is super effective and efficient, tied to my other systems?
I think an email autoresponder might be the only thing Google doesn't really have, actually. So you got to plug in a MailChimp or something for, obviously, for tagging and sending out emails or newsletters or KV Core or whatever email autoresponder. That's what those things are called, autoresponders. So you have to, as far as like integrations and automating, I know you've heard of Zapier, and most have heard of Zapier. If you haven't, Zapier, Zapier, is a way to connect different things to different other things that don't necessarily integrate easily. So, like for instance, my discovery call, I have a Zap set up for if somebody scheduled a discovery call, that information, their email, phone number, blah blah blah, whatever I tell it to, goes straight over to my MailChimp, or you could have it go into a spreadsheet or pretty much anything, and you can get up to, I think, 5 Zaps for free on a free account. If anybody else uses it, feel free to chime in on Zapier. But that's specifically one thing you mentioned, a way you could kind of do things. You use Zapier, don't you? I feel like I've heard you talk about Zapier before.
I do. I don't personally set it up, but I do have it, yes.
Yeah, and it's not foolproof either. It will glitch sometimes. Like I turned it off for a while and I kind of had to figure out what the glitch was, and it's still not perfect. Sometimes it doesn't do it, or I get this email error, or connection has failed or something. So it's not always foolproof either. So you kind of got to watch it, at least at the beginning, a little bit. But yeah, and as far as email autoresponder, you can. One of the things I had on my list here was schedule send emails. So even on a free Gmail account, you can schedule send on emails. So if you wanted to, like at settlement, schedule a 4-month email, a 6-month email, blah blah blah, or if during the transaction you wanted to schedule emails to go out to the client at certain milestones or whatever, you can just easily click down where it says send, you click the little arrow down, and then you can schedule it for whenever you want it to go out. um, at some point I had seen in my Workspace account that you could send out a mass email. Well, they had templates. I don't see it anymore, I don't think. Let me pull one up. Yeah, they do. They have layouts, so you can click if you have a Workspace account, and I'm not, maybe they have it on the free too, but a Workspace account, if you click, there's like a little display kind of square website looking button. If you click it, it gives you like MailChimp setup emails, and then you can insert it. And then I think I'd gotten a message before about how you can mass send, and the Workspace account will send it whatever way the email auto respond, like MailChimp. They don't send 1,000 at once. They kind of batch it 100 at a time, or so it kind of looks like individual. I think Google can now do that somehow. I've never used it, but I think I got an alert. And they definitely have the templates. If you click the little template button, they've got a bunch of templates in there. But
Hey, Derek, going back to Zapier, um, in like years ago, like 3 years ago, I used to do Facebook ads, and there's certain things that Zapier will not allow you to do with a free account. So I'm not sure that it's Respond Mail. I don't know what it was. Whatever it was, I had to pay for it.
yes, there are definitely limitations, and possibly certain apps or connections that you might have to pay for that are premium also. So yeah, just like all the things, they give you enough to wet your whistle and get you addicted, and then need it more. But I think I only have like three total Zaps set up, so I'm not even at the five. Any other questions or any other chime-ins to Jennifer for automating her stuff? Obviously, I like forms too. That's on my list. Intake forms for buyers and sellers instead of some paper thing or talking to them. Or I love click this and put your information in here, and then it gives you the nice spreadsheet and everything in one place, and their phone number and email and their preferences and favorite food and all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming you probably do that already too, right? Or most have some kind of version of that.
Derek, I have something unrelated to ask, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Um, I do you do like Google audits? I guess I have two questions. So I'd love for someone to look at my Google and say, "Wow, you suck, and here's what you need to do to get better." And secondly, I need like the basics course, whatever that is, because I want to obviously improve my Google, but I literally am clueless with it. So whatever you have for that.
Thanks for asking. And I pulled it up actually. You're in Columbus?
Yes. Yep. Central Ohio stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just at first glance, looks like you need pretty much everything without even have to look deeper into it. Not that it's, I mean, you got 17 reviews, so that's nothing to sneeze at, and that's a good start. And you're only 8 away from the 25 mark that I usually give. 10's the first mark I give people, and then 25 is kind of the subconscious people trust you mark. Um, but 17 is, I mean, that could take a year to get that many, or longer if you're not really trying to get them. So that's nothing to sneeze at. But yes, you need everything. I used to do audits for people, but my audits, it takes me time. I do like a nice audit, and you can kind of take the audit and do it yourself, blah, blah, blah. So then I ended up having to charge for the audit, and every single person needed everything. And even if you kind of did some stuff, you heard me say something and you did this or that or added a product, usually it's not the way me anally or me as a professional doing it would do it. So I got to get rid of it and redo it anyway. So it became kind of a waste of time and money on both sides to do audits. I usually give it a glance, and if I'm like, "Whoa, this looks like somebody like me did your profile for you," I can kind of tell that. But usually, it's going through the whole exercise of a extensive audit is a waste of time because I think I was charging. I ended up by the time I did everything and made it valuable enough to charge money for it. Blah blah blah. It was something like $200 to $300 for an audit. And for instance, the course, which you asked about, is 197 right now. It's worth way more than that, and it will be going up. But I used to do it live. Now it's in course form to do by yourself. So the course takes you from zero to hero on your Google Business Profile, everything that I would do personally, along with all the templates to copy and paste for titles, descriptions, Canva, covers, product covers, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, you can change things and do it, make it your own also, but as plug and play as I can make it. There's also bunch of other bonuses in there, like my offer submission form template is in there. My YouTube banner grid is in there. That's something I've never seen anywhere else, because you kind of got to know where to place things for the different devices on YouTube. What else? There's a bunch of extra, an income and expense spreadsheet that I'm going to do a video for and put in there. But anyway, and you get it set up for local services ads also. So zero to hero on your Google Business Profile plus local services ads set up. The course is 197, and if you're like, I don't want to do any of that crap, I want you to do it for you, I can also, there's a done for you version, which is essentially the same thing. I do it for you, also includes 3 hours of instruction and coaching, so it's not just like, here's your thing done, good luck. I'll also walk you through every aspect of it and how to do things ongoing, best practices, yada yada. So kind of get both with the done for you. So I think that answers your question. Course is 197. If you click the link above, there under the Google Business Profile main tab, you can find the course or the done for you or the video bank or any of that stuff. So I
Awesome.
think I answered it.
I love that you're like, you need everything. Yes, Derek, I do. I'm clueless.
Hey, Derek. So, this is Cindy over in Salt Lake, and I just wrote a review on Google. And after I finished, then I kept following the prompts that it gave me, offered me. And one of them was turn on your location to always. So mine was only on for while using the app. Um, And I would hope and think that maybe that's going to open up more exposure. Now, I was giving a review for someone out of my market, but that was the first. I hadn't given that much thought on the Google app uh, location. So, do you know of how that can be advantageous for us to have our location, allowing Google to have your location always?
It's definitely advantageous to Google because they'll get all that magic juicy data that they want, obviously, but beneficial for you as it relates to what we're talking about. If you had it on all the time, Google will know everything you do pretty much. Like I get an email at the end of the year, it tells me how many miles I drove. I don't even have to be using the Google Maps app to navigate. It knows every mile I drove. It knows how many miles I hiked somehow. I don't even use a tracking app of any sort for my hikes or mountain bikes, and it knows like all that stuff somehow. So if you turn it on, it will know all that stuff, which could be nice if you like to look back at that stuff or whatever. But it will also know the businesses that you went to, whether or not you interacted with their Google business profile. If you went to Planet Fitness every day and you went inside, Google knows that, whether you interacted with the Google business profile or used it to navigate there or anything. So if it's always on, it'll be tracking like everything. Um, it wouldn't help you obviously give reviews to people outside of your area because you've never have visited that location. So it wouldn't like register and help that review show up when you give it. But it's probably personal preference. I'm guessing on Android, it's default on, and on Apple, it's probably default off. But I would be curious to know if the Apple Maps app is default on or off if it's tracking all the time, because Apple's always talking about like privacy and we're going to shut everything out and the Facebook pixels get shut down and you can't track and all this gobbledygook. But really, it's not about privacy. It's about Apple being able to do those things and run their own retargeting and run their own ads and have their own Maps app. So it's not about privacy. It's about Apple doing it. So I'd be curious to know. But yeah, it depends if you want Google following you around, I think is the short of it.
Oh, oh my. So it sounds like you have yours on to always. And when you realized that email that they got your every step and rock that you climbed, So yours is still on using always?
It is. It did make me think,
Uh-huh.
like, am I going anywhere that if I died and somebody pulled, because that's the only time anybody, if you die, maybe they might see this at some point. Probably never, but if they did, or if I was convicted of a crime or something, maybe, but I thought twice about it. I was like, I don't go anywhere. Are they going to know how many times I went to the rock climbing gym and to the, where else do I go? I don't, to daycare. And yeah, I couldn't think of any places that I was going at least routinely enough that I would be scared to for somebody to know about.
Hey
And
Derek, I
it's
have a quick question. Just to jump back to your course, when you said, I'm looking at it right now, when you said something about setting up a search or the ads, can you say that again?
yeah, the local services ads. For those that don't know what
Yes.
local
Is that
service
like running an ad?
it is, it's a Google ad. It's a new type. Well, new quote unquote. It's about 4 years old at this point. Um, but it's a new type of ad. It differs in that you only pay when you get a call or a message. You don't pay just for clicks or impressions. So with traditional like Google ads or YouTube ads or whatever, you'll wake up in a month with a bill for $500,000. Whatever you put in there, it will spend your money one way or another, whether you got something out of it or not. With local services ads, you only pay for what you get. Average cost per lead is around 40 to 50 bucks these days. There was a time it was much lower before Tom Ferry started talking about it at every conference and every time somebody comes back, or 5 people at every market come back and sign up for it. But so you don't pay unless you get a lead. Leads are kind of slow right now, but again, why not be in the mix, which is also why it's so saturated. You only pay when you get something, so why not have your face there in the mix at least? The more reviews you have, the more chance you have of being picked or ranking and stuff. How they look at is, if you were to search realtor near me or HVAC near me or any kind of local home business or medical or law too, all the way at the top for realtors, all the way at the top, it's just going to be 2 or 3 faces. They usually show a 3 pack, and it'll appear above everything else, above the Google search results, above the website results, above the other ads, above the Google business profiles, above everything will be the local services ads showing 2 to 3 faces, and then they can click to see more, and then they could see all the other people running local services ads. It's also really easy in that there are no headlines to write. There's no body copy. There's no creatives to add. I mean, there is a place where you want to put some photos, but it's not like creatives for the ad, so to speak. There's no landing pages to come up with. There's no drip campaigns or opt-ins or what's my back end or any of that crap. It's just people pick a face they like. Okay, I like that face. That's enough stars. Call this person, and it's high intent people who just typed in realtor and they're looking for somebody to call right then. Um, Also, you will get some crap. It's not all gold. It's still 20 to 1 is usually the number I say, 20 to 1 crap calls to money calls. But a lot of those crap calls you won't pay for because they might be rentals or outside of the area that you define. So if you make some definitions of the leads that you want with Google, and if it's outside of that, you either don't get charged to begin with, or if they wrongly charge you, you can dispute it and get it back. Um, but there will be some garbage. And right now, like I said, leads are slow. So a lot of people were cranking budgets, just hoping to get something. Since the new year, it's stepped up slightly, but it's still lower, which is why we started beta testing and looking into some other Google ads to start layering on top and some other things to do, because the local services ads have gotten a little bit saturated. Google does rotate people. So usually the 3 pack or the people towards the top get most of the calls. So Google will routinely like shove 5 people up to the top and give them their week in the sunshine. And then the next week, give them their week in the sunshine. And hopefully people resonate with you and pick you while it's your week in sunshine. So sometimes you will see kind of like a surge, like, oh, I got 2 calls this week and then a month with nothing. And then I get 2 calls in a week and then a month and nothing. That's probably why, because they're rotating people and kind of giving everybody a bone. And when there is little search traffic like there is right now, there's just less leads for them to hand out. But yeah, that's what local services ads are. You only pay per lead, and it's those things at the top, and they're pretty simple to set up and run ongoing.
Super helpful. Thank you.
Yep, yep. And if you wanted to just, in the course, it's split up into modules. So if you're like, I just want to go right to that and do that right away before I do all my other stuff, you could do that. You do not have to optimize your Google business profile first. Usually that's the order I'd like to do, but you could just, the local services ads account is unrelated to the Google business profile. It's completely separate thing, completely separate account, completely separate thing at Google, completely separate helpline. They do share reviews. It will connect and pull the reviews over from your Google business profile. But other than that, it has nothing to do with your Google business profile.
But Derek, it's Peggy. This is my question about the that verified pay-per-click ad. Once you make it, you can't change it, can you? You can't change the title of it. You can throttle how much you want to pay towards it, but you can't change it at all, can you?
Yes and no. So if you know, under your profile and budget tab, your main information, your name, phone number, address, website, name, phone, I think those are the 3 or 4 things. Those things you cannot manually change in the, like in your dashboard. You have to call or put a help ticket in with local services ads to change those things. Um, they have to match, usually at least for real estate agents, they want it to match the insurance document. So most of us have to upload an E&O document. Some states you don't have to, but most you do. And if you change your address, they want it to match that document. And same with the naming, it kind of has to match the actual documents that you're, and obviously your license would have to match. So if you need to change it after you're going, you might have a bit of an issue changing certain things if you don't have the right documentation to change it the way that you want to. That's why it's super important to set it up from the jump the exact way that you want it, because at the jump they will not be as sticklers about the addresses matching from the E&O to the other address. It might, but usually you can get away with it. Same with the naming. You can usually get away with a name a little bit different than maybe what a document would exactly support. So important to do those, especially those main pieces of information, correct when you first set it up. But you can change it if you just call, and as long as it's an acceptable change. And phone number and website, that should be an easy change. The name and the address are the ones that might be an issue. Um, but I would just call them. I like to call them rather than a help ticket, and shouldn't be too hard. They send you an email asking for permission, and then you just reply back to, yes, please change this account number from this to this, and then they usually do it while you're on the phone with them. Be prepared to sit on hold for a while. I would allot 2 hours. It should not take that long. Do not expect it to be that long, but I would allot a couple hours so that you do not have to start over. You do not want to be on for 40 minutes and then they're just about to finish putting it through for you or something, and you have to go and start all over again. Sometimes they can keep the ticket working and get back to you, but it's best just to, I don't like to leave it that way, because sometimes you'll get one and be like, it wasn't resolved. But if I was still on the phone with them, I could have pushed harder and say, hey, why isn't it resolved? What do you give me some insight here? What are we? Okay, let's do it this way and let's get this done while I'm on the phone right now. Um, any other questions regarding that, changes to, or anything regarding local services ads?
No, it's just the title because like unfortunately, like you said, when you create it, you don't realize like later if you're successful at changing the name of your Google business profile, like sometimes we think of whether or not we wanted our broker name in there or we don't, because as you said, like it should match the E&O. But if you successfully change your business profile or you had something you said that you wish you could change and edit, there's absolutely no way to change that title. That's what's frustrating. I don't care, but the address is the same and the website and all that, that I understand. But what you initially say is there uneditable going forward, and that's the frustration.
You're talking
I
about your
thought
name
there
like Peggy
was.
Jeweliter, comma, realtor, like that
Right. I
part?
think I had my broker in there before, and then I made it Philadelphia Mainline Realtor, and that was fine. But the title that I used for the local ad was before. And I don't know, I said something stupid. I don't even know what it says at the moment. I just know I've never been able to change it, no matter how many times I asked. And it's been a while since I checked. But sometimes, like you say, when you're trying these processes and these steps, and they don't work and they don't work, and then one day they do. And that's what I'm waiting for, the one conversation where someone's like, oh yeah, I changed it, and then I have the in to go in and try that, but unsuccessful since.
Yeah, you should be able to change your name as long as it's like standard my name realtor brokerage or some nothing out of the ordinary. Yeah, and don't worry about matching your Google Business Profile exactly. So on the Google Business Profile, in our name, we are keyword stuffing it, so to speak. I want Carlisle Realtor. Those I want the place in there, and I want the word realtor. Some people leave out the place because they don't want to pigeonhole, but I want the brokerage name, blah, blah, blah. I want some keywords in there. But on the local services ads, it doesn't matter as much. The part that matters the most is your name and realtor, I think. Derek Bixler, comma, realtor would be my favorite way to do that. Maybe the brokerage at the end too. Um, but so you don't have to be as concerned on the local services ads about matching or keyword stuffing or doing all that stuff because it's not organic. You're not trying to organically rank. You're paying to rank places. So keyword stuffing the title doesn't help you in any way really on local services ads, if that makes sense. But you should be able to change it. If you call and say, I need to change my name, it's pretty standard protocol. You'll just, hopefully you can do it over the phone. A lot lately I've been calling and the line says we're overloaded, use the email thing. So I'm hoping that is not going to turn into, that's the only way you can do it because I love their helpline. It's one of the best. But yeah, it shouldn't be that big of an issue, or if you need my help, hit me up.
Hey, real quick, Derek. Remember I told you that there was that they sent me this thing, sounded like it was from you. I guess it was under Search Bomb because everything was in it. And I wonder, I'm going to go back and see if it was the same review that I gave you that won't show up. But on my maps, you have a review from Search Bomb. And I took a screenshot and sent it to you. I'm done.
Gotcha. Yes, sweet. I'll look for it. So you gave me a review on my Search Bomb Google Business Profile. I feel like I did see that maybe, and I'm not the best at replying to them, even though I teach it. I'm pretty good about replying to them on my real estate one because that's one everyone looks at. But
But I put
um,
one on there. Remember, it didn't show up like a year ago. And this one just had everything in it, and I just pushed the button. I thought it was you that did the review. So you know how you used to put words in and say, "Hey, say this." So I don't know. I'll go check it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you sent me a screenshot, that's good. I can look at it, and if it didn't show up, all good. I don't stress about it, is what it is. But I appreciate you giving one for sure. Any other questions on local services ads? We're about quarter after. Before we go out, I'm going to deliver some more of what I promised at the beginning. I'm going to rattle off a few tools that I use. I won't go into deep detail or go like super lengthy, but if anybody wants to talk about any of the items or how they use them, certainly can. And maybe I'll just do another room and split these up too, because I'm still learning the flow of these rooms and how many questions people are going to have organically about their Google Business Profile or just the Ask Me Anything Q&A type of thing. I'm still kind of figuring out how much of that there will be every time, and how much other content I need to pre-plan. But it sounds like it's seeming like a half and half kind of thing is what will be good. But if nobody has any last call on local services ads questions. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A few of the other Google Maps apps. I'll just talk. I'll go on like three more here, and then see if um, anybody else has any tips or best practices for these things. So one I have on here is Google Meet, which is obviously like Zoom. Up until now, I have used Zoom. I just got a renewal notice like a month ago, and I thought to myself, well, I use Google for everything. I'm Mr. Google, and I don't use Google Meet, and have never tried it really. Blah blah blah. So I'm like, and I already pay for Workspace to get the premium Google Meet. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop using Zoom and use Google Meet. It has been a learning experience a bit. They do have a dedicated app, but it mainly works just in the browser. I do like how it's easy on a phone to share screen. I think you can also share multiple screens at once. Like I was in a meeting and I was sharing my desktop and then I was also on my phone because I like to look at Google Business Profiles in the app, but I usually can't really do that or it's cumbersome. So I like how I could do that and they could see my phone screen and my desktop screen fairly easily. But does anybody else use Google Meet?
100%.
Everybody?
Yes, I do some trainings in my brokerage. I do buyer consultations on there sometimes if they're not local, and I'll record it and then I'll send them the recording so they can revisit everything we talked about, especially sometimes if we talk about like in Pennsylvania, we have the consumer notice, what everybody else calls it, like some of those disclosure type documents. If you're going to do that and you do it in a Google Meet, you record it, it'll save in Google Drive, so you have endless space there, and then you can share the recording with them. So yeah, I use it a lot, way more than Zoom.
Hey, it's Courtney in South Carolina. I've actually used it as an option for FaceTime for my Android clients that refuse to get Skype or anything like that. They'll have a Gmail account and we just set it up on Google Meet.
Hey Derek, it's Megan. I use it and I like it. And I use it on my gimbal for virtual showings also instead of FaceTime. And um, I've been using Google Meet for like about a year now, and I really do like it.
Sweet. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I feel like Justin Konikow is the one that always talks about it, or he's the one that is always in the back of my brain that came to mind when I was like, why don't I use it? Oh, Justin's using it. It must work good enough if he's using it. And now Megan's using it also. So yeah, I just
What do
got
you
to
got,
learn it.
Derek? Can I ask, what do you and Megan like about it better than Zoom or FaceTime? I use Zoom and StreamYard.
So I'm a fan of StreamYard now because I just started using that last week. But Google Meet, you can record. I can do trainings for my VA right there in Google Meet. And then there's the setup of the calendar and the reminder emails that I set up for the Google Meets. Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. No paid Zoom at this point. Like, cancel that.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, what sparked it for me was I got my renewal notice for your Zoom's going to renew in 30 days. And then for whatever reason, I was like, well, why don't I try Google Meet? I'm Mr. Google. I don't use Google Meet. I already pay for Workspace. So I'm already kind of paying for the premium version of it. Why am I not using it? So I just made a conscious switch over. And there are some annoying things about it, but I think it works pretty good, and I could use it. And I like what people brought up too about like you don't always have to use Loom or add something else. I do like Loom, and that gives you like a real quick, easy link to send people if you're doing like tutorial videos or anything. But you can also use Zoom or Google Meet or really any screen recording uh, application to record a tutorial. You just screen share, talk about it, and record it, and then send it to people. So you could use Google Meet, like people said, and Zoom for that kind of tutorial or systematized stuff or explaining documents to clients, yada yada. And it is nice that if you use Google Meet, it automatically puts it into a folder on your Google Drive under your Google Meet meetings, and then you can just instantaneously go there and drag it to the person's folder or whatever you're doing with it. So it does eliminate a little bit of the process there. And I'm sure once you get used to it, there's probably some shortcuts and integrations with all the other Google tools that might help a little bit. But I don't know. I'm reserving final judgment right now since I've just started using it.
It also will save like anybody who does anything in the chat. If you share links, if anybody comments, you'll get notes after in addition to the recording. But I'm waiting for, and I got to believe that they're going to do it. If you know, they added the Google Calendar appointment setter just like Calendly, And now that, as you talk about Google Meet, recordings and sharing with people, because you can share your screen. So it works in a similar fashion to, let's say, BombBomb or Loom. I would just love it if they added the little Giphy, like the 3 seconds. So you've got that video clip that entices people to want to click the link. Otherwise, you're just sending them a link to a video. But boy, if they change that, that'll be a game changer, and you won't need Loom and you won't need BombBomb.
There is actually a free tool, now that you said that, that comes to mind. I have it on my Gmail. It's like a Gmail plugin that you can do bomb bombs, basically. I got an email from a farmer friend of mine, and it was like, I thought it was a bomb bomb video, and I clicked it, and when I went through, I saw that it was some other thing. What's it called? Cloud HQ. So if you look up Cloud HQ, there's like a plugin, and you can screen record, and I think it puts that Giphy or whatever in there. I kind of set it up, and then I don't really use it. I use other tools for that kind of thing, but that's one you could try, and I think there is some amount of free version of Cloud HQ also.
Derek, you can also do email. That's what I use Cloud HQ for. You can do email templates and all kinds of stuff with it. So I love that plugin.
Can you repeat the name of it? You popped out for a minute, Derek.
Cloud HQ. Ooh,
And that takes the place of Bomb Bomb?
It's Bum Bum-ish. It's a free thing, so I haven't used it extensively, but essentially it works kind of like Bum Bum, but of course it's free, so there's going to be some kind of limitations on there probably. But yeah, I got one from my farmer and thought it was Bum Bum, and then I was like, oh snap, and then I looked at it and it said it was free, and I was like, oh, and then I saw him, and he's also my daughter's soccer coach, and I asked him, he's like, yeah, I use it all the time, it's great.
But that's because you have Google Workspace?
No, it's just on you can get it in your regular Gmail. It's just a regular Gmail plugin or add-on or whatever they call them.
Oh, and okay. And how much is Google Workspace? Do you know?
Yes. It's starts at $6 for a starter, then it goes $12. 21.60 is the plan that I have, and then goes up to 23 and 30. So I don't think you need to go above what I have, the 21.60, and it used to be, it just went up a couple bucks. Maybe even the starter, I think I had to do the 2161 because that gave me meeting capabilities and maybe some other security stuff or something. But as cheap as $6 up to $30, but probably don't need the $30 a month one. And I just
Okay.
realized I have a discovery call at 10:30, so I am going to have a sharp cutout at 10:30. Any other comments on Google Meet users? I will report back and let you know how I like it. There's some things I like about it. The most annoying part is that all the users on the other end never use it. So everybody knows Zoom. They know where the share screen button is. They kind of know the drill. They already have it installed on their computer, blah, blah, blah. But the Google Meet, people are not as familiar with. And then I'm not that familiar yet with it. So it's hard for me to troubleshoot and help people also. So a little bit of growing pains there, but I think it'll work out and suffice, especially since I already paid for it. What else do I have here? I guess we'll just end it there. I'll do a outro. I've got a bunch of other tools here. My offer submission form, which I love, buyer and seller intake forms, my maps, which I know Megan does a lot of, map overlays, which is something that I don't know how to do, but I really want to learn how to. I feel like I went down the rabbit hole before, and it became too cumbersome. Like those overlays, not the my maps, but the overlays that you can, like if you have a 10K race, sometimes they send you a link and you click the link and then it adds an overlay on your Google Maps app, and it remains in your Google Maps app and you see it every time you open your map unless you go into some deep setting and turn off that overlay or unselect it or whatever. So I really want to learn how to do the map overlays, and maybe if anybody else has ever done them. Yeah, Megan, I see your eyeballs. I would like to. There's a special like file. It gets kind
Okay,
of
there
heady.
is. That is crazy in there with the overlays. But my husband kind of showed me some stuff with that, with the how it, from the Intel perspective with overlays. But yeah, I'm still learning on that. And it if you put it in there, then it kind of stays there, right, Derek?
Yeah, Santa Claus's route
Uh,
from Christmas is still showing on my on my Google Maps app. He drove around our town on a fire truck or something. But yeah, map overlays I got on there. Local guiding we can talk more extensively about. Classroom, they got Google Classroom, a lot of stuff free and paid to do in there. Think with Google, learning stuff with Google, Google Voice, obviously, an extra phone, notes, tasks, all their productivity stuff that you can use in conjunction with email. So we'll talk about some of these a little bit more extensively. Maybe I'll research map overlays a little bit, and maybe we can all start learning how to do that because I would really love to know how to do that. But we'll talk about some other apps and tools at a later date. I don't know if I'll continue this next week or if we'll go back to Google Business Profile, local services ad stuff next week. But in either case, we will have some Ask Anything on Google Business Profile and local services ad stuff next week, and then I'll have some other kind of topic or something to talk about or news or something planned. So thanks everybody for hanging with me so far. I guess I should do one last outro. I'll do a short version. You're in the Google for Real Estate house. Click the house above to join. Do I see any? Kim, you got a pink ticket still. Click that house up there. I don't see anybody else. This is a recurring room Wednesdays at 9 a.m., typically about an hour, but sometimes I will go over if I have extra time. I'm Derek Bixler, dad, real estate agent, adventure sportsman, Google marketing geek. We'll see you next time. Replays are on. They'll be there for a little bit, then be delayed or taken away at some point. If you need me, click that link up there, join the house, but also click the search bomb link if you need to contact me or schedule a discovery call, or you want the course that I was talking about, or whatever. All things me and search bomb and Google Business Profile via that link above. Make sure you follow me everywhere, everyone else, and not just on here, on socials, on Instagram, on Facebook. That's where I drop my content and tips. So if you want to get up to date, you can also subscribe to my email list if you want to via search bomb at the top. But yeah, we'll see everybody next time for some other googly stuff. Love it, Cindy. Love that G. I wish I could make the G around my face move. Um, I've uploaded GIFs to Giphy, and I still can't actually find them to use on any platform. So yes, I wish I could do that. Anybody have any closing thoughts or anything to add? Otherwise, I'll shut it down in like 10 seconds.
No, thanks, Derek. This was great. I'm trying to get rid of my red ticket.
Great room, Derek. Thank you so much.
Yep, yep.
Yes, thank you, Derek. It was awesome.
Thank
Some
you,
more.
Derek.
Thank you all for showing up. Some more Usher for the outro.
Thank you.
See everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.